Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Super Bowl 49, the Pats and the Seahawks. I'm going to do my big preview here right now with our two most reliable, most successful handicappers long term. That's Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com and Troy West from AllPlaysWin.com. These guys have given us a ton of advice year after year after year and successful picks both in our videos and, of course, at their websites. Guys, thanks for being back with us. Just give a quick overview of who you are, what your sites are. We'll start with you, Joe Duffy, OffshoreInsiders.com. You've been a professional handicapper for 27 years, right?
Yeah, at OffshoreInsiders.com. That is where my picks are. 27 and a half years. Full-time experience in betting and handicapping long before that. OffshoreInsiders.com.
And Troy West from AllPlaysWin.com, of course, a veteran of our videos. Troy West, tell everyone what your site's all about, AllPlaysWin.com. Obviously, your record in our videos long-term speaks for itself.
Thanks a lot, Pete. I appreciate it. We've been doing it now. This is going into our 9th season. Had an outstanding 2014. We're really starting to pick up our game. Started off slow in January, but finishing up here strong, Pete. And you know, last year who our pick was, one of our biggest bets of the year, ended up being the Super Bowl with Seattle. And yeah. Pete, I want to tell the viewers tonight, we're going to have a huge, huge play on the Super Bowl again this year. All
right. That sounds great, Troy. Well, you know, we'll start with the total. This is a tricky one. Total right now is 48. It's now settled in market-wide. And, you know, obviously the Seahawks have the awesome defense that they're known for. The Pats have a better defense this year than they have in previous years when they've had elite teams. So you've got two strong defenses, but you know, one way or another, these games can easily go over totals such as 48. There was like a backdoor cover in Seattle's last game with the over. So I don't know. As of right now, you know, I'm not going to touch the total at all. I might bet the side, might bet props, but the total of 48 could easily see an under, easily see an over. Start with you, Joe Duffy. What's your take in general on the total of 48 in this Super Bowl?
You know, my knee-jerk reaction was I was leaning towards the over because I think it is the best quarterback in the game right now, Russell Wilson, against probably the best postseason quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. But the total is pretty high, and we know about, you know, both of the quarterbacks, and we know about Seattle's secondary. Everybody agrees that they're one of the best, maybe the best in football with Sherman, Thomas, Chancellor, and Maxwell. But the Patriots with Devin McCourtney and Darrelle Revis, they got a pretty darn good secondary themselves, and both offensive lines are pretty shaky. I know Pro Football Focus, they have a couple metrics that they like to use as far as measuring the effectiveness of the offensive line, and Russell Wilson, the most pressured quarterback the last 2 years in the league. New England's had plenty of injuries on the offensive line, and then both of these guys have the smash mouth running backs, and so they can kind of eat up a lot of yardage and eat up the clock. So I actually am leaning towards the under.
You're leaning towards the under. All right, Troy West, what's your take on the Seattle defense right now? How good is it really, and how much do those possible injuries maybe give you reason for concern?
Yeah, the injuries definitely bring out a little bit of a concern. You know, Richard Sherman, we saw that the last game that he played basically with one arm that entire fourth quarter. He said multiple times on the radio that he's obviously going to play, but you know, how much will it hurt him? You know, that's remain next Sunday. But no, actually, Joe stole a lot of my thunder. I'm actually, this is just a lean as well. I'm leaning the under. You know, Pete, this Seattle offense really was exposed against this Green Bay defense last week. It took an onside kick. It took a miraculous catch. It took a couple big plays to put that game to go over. It really had no business going over. And give Bill Belichick credit, and you give him 2 weeks with that defense and the physical corners with Revis and Browner and McCourtney, like Joe Duffy said, and the two smash mouth running backs. I got to go with the lean, though. It is the Super Bowl. The offenses, you know, they throw out all the stocks for this game. You're going to see a lot of maybe some trickery stuff, the balls being thrown down the field. Russell Wilson hasn't ran as much in the last couple games. This is his last game of the season. I expect him to run the ball, and when he does, they're extremely successful. So more of a lean on the under, Pete. I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, to see it go over, but a lean on the under with these two defenses and a lot of run game. I got to go with the under.
All right, so you would lean under, but for the purposes of our official record keeping in these videos, you don't want to make that an official pick?
Not official, not official.
And Joe Duffy, seems like Troy West, the Seattle expert, is in agreement with you, and so you're leaning under, but do you want to also just keep that a lean? Do you want to make that an official pick for the purposes of these videos?
Now, as you would say, for the purposes of these videos, I will make it an official pick.
All right, Joe Duffy, are you concerned, though, that, you know, if Richard Sherman really is hobbled and Seattle really does have some significant injuries on defense, I mean, quickly, very quickly and easily, the Pats could start picking them apart and put up 40 points.
Now, that's the big advantage of there being 2 weeks between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. Richard Sherman, I know, will take some shots in that arm, and I think he'll be fine come Super Bowl Sunday. But of course, I'm worried. As I said, there's no such thing as a true lock. And remember what I prefaced this by saying that look, I've been all in on Russell Wilson. I think because Seattle plays a little bit more of a low-powered offense, people don't realize how good he is. I love quarterbacks who can keep a play alive. So these are two tremendous quarterbacks. And when you're betting the under with two quarterbacks of this quality, yeah, you could always get backdoored. But then again, as Troy said, the strength of Russell Wilson is he can also run. And, when he's a running quarterback, that can kind of eat up some time. And that's really the way when you've got the under, you want the teams to move the ball a little bit more on the ground. So, yeah, anytime you got quarterbacks of this quality, you're always going to be nervous. I mean, it could enter the fourth quarter 10-7, and you're still going to be nervous, but I still think the under is the high percentage play.
All right, well, I think it's going to be a pass for me, but we do have agreement between Troy West and Joe Duffy, both leaning under. Only Joe Duffy, though, is going to make it an official pick for his permanent record. Thanks so much, guys.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.